Thanks for checking out today's video. Today I'm going to be going over how I got this, how I tuned up this idle, this Camshaft. Basically, it's going to be your fuel trim's got to be dialed in, your idle air control, your base timing, and your over and under timing corrections. Those are the 4 things needed to get this consistent Camshaft. Hope you liked the video. Okay, so probably the most important thing to having that perfect idle Camshaft or whatever tuned up is having your air fuel correct. And really at idle part throttle stuff, your O2 sensors can do the job perfectly fine. That's what they're designed for. So make sure your fuel trims are near 0 as possible. When you have like cam lobe and headers, they can fluctuate, but generally if it's within 5%, you're looking pretty solid. And here at idle, I'm averaging on that specific cell 0.3% off from the you know, it averages the fluctuation. Right now it's 0.4. Just get it as close to 0 as possible. It does a really good job at trying to get to storage on its own. So like basically if you're running lean, it'll add probably up to 25-30% fuel. If you're rich, it'll take away. But the problem is that really hurts the smoothness of the idle. It's going to be working so hard trying to add and take away fuel that the idle, it's not going to be smooth, and it's not going to sound healthy because it's going to be working so hard adjusting, adding, and taking away from those trims. You just want it to be natural, at a natural steady state, close to 0, so that when you first fire it up, it's basically good to go. And you got to make these adjustments on the warm-up. Make sure it's nice and steady from a cold start all the way up to operating temp. So let's talk about if your idle is too rich. I can go ahead and do a sound clip of the idle run being too rich. I'll do that right now. And then here's going to be a sound clip of it running too lean. I'll go ahead and do that right now. So that's going to move me on to the next point. It's going to be your idle airflow. The second thing you're going to want to adjust to have a really smooth and healthy idle is going to be your idle airflow. This is a Gen 3. It's got, you know, basically like a standalone idle air control valve, and you actually have to make adjustments to the idle airflow. And you want this number to be probably, I'd say, within 10 on average. It'll fluctuate. So right now we're at 2%. I might need to make some small tweaks to that. But if your idle airflow is spot on, just like the fuel trims, you don't want it hunting and going up and down trying to find that natural healthy idle. You just want it to be good, so the computer isn't working and making changes. Because if the computer is making changes, the sound is going to change, the idle is going to change, it's going to lose that consistent chop. All right, so you just probably, I'd say if you're within 10 is that pounds per hour, then you should be looking pretty solid. You shouldn't be fluctuating, and that chop shouldn't be going away or sounding weird. Because if it is, just like the fuel trims, if it's hunting, trying to find that sweet spot, your idle, it's not going to sound consistent and healthy. It's going to be too busy trying to level out and find that happy medium. And if it is hunting and trying to find that medium, you might also have like stalling issues or surging or just goofy characteristics. If your fuel trims are close to 0, your idle airflow trims are close to 0, it's just going to be happy. It's going to be able to make those adjustments from 0 more quickly, and it's just going to be more consistent and smooth, basically. Because all we're looking here is for a consistent, smooth, healthy idle, and these are things that are involved in that. There's a little more to it than people might think. So after this, we're going to be looking at the timing. Okay, and the last thing that we're going to be talking about is timing. I like to have the base timing, I find around 16 to 18 degrees of base idle timing to be the sweet spot. And that's going to be, let me show you. Might as well show you if you're doing this yourself. It's good to know. So you have idle, spark, advance. Right here we've got park. That's going to be your idle timing. So right here is 0, 400, 800. I have 18 degrees of timing. And then what's really going to give it that rhythm and chop, I've talked about this in my other videos, it's your idle adaptive spark control. This is what's going to give it the aggressive swing. This is what can give that mild cam sound like a big cam. And I mean, it's kind of controversial. A lot of people want to cam. Really and truly, the majority of people cam their trucks for the noise, okay? And this is where to get that chop. You're going to want your over and under spark adjustments at least 10 degrees negative if you're over, and positive 10 if you're under. And that's basically going to give your cam idle the that heartbeat. Interesting. What do I have going on here? Oh yeah, I have it at 10. Positive 10 there, negative 10 on the other. That 20 is kind of crazy. I don't know why that's there. Basically, this is all it's seen is the 10 degrees over and under. Any more than that, it's going to get even more aggressive and more choppy. And some people think it sounds kind of artificial, which it is. But to a certain extent, you need an over and under to keep the idle steady and consistent. It might not have to be so aggressive as 10 degrees, and it's a solid 10 degrees. Like on your stock over and under, it'll be nice and smooth, right? Like if you're over, this is your RPM, right? If you're over, it'll be like 1, 2, 3 degrees of timing, even like halves, like increments of halves. It'll just steadily try to keep it at 0. But this is a wall of 10 degrees up and down. So what that does is it gives the idle basically that heartbeat, that cammed. Here, this is my timing table. That up and down, that's literally the chop of the cam. Alright guys, that's it for this one. I hope my tips were helpful on my settings and my adjustments and how I got this idle. I know a lot of people really like that cammed idle. I hope this helped you achieve that. If you have any questions, comment below. If you want to see any other videos, comment below. I got you. I'll help you out. See you in the next one. Later.